only you need discipline in yourself. Let me say something that most people are too afraid to hear. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not missing some secret ingredient that successful people have. You are simply addicted to waiting. Waiting for the right moment. Waiting to feel ready. Waiting for that burning fire inside your chest, that magical rush of motivation to finally push you into action. And here is the brutal, devastating truth nobody tells you. That feeling is never coming to save you. Motivation is not a system. It is not a strategy. It is not a foundation you can build a life on. It is a spark, beautiful, electric, and gone in seconds. And while you are sitting there waiting for it, the world is moving without you. Stay with me, because in the next 15 minutes, I am going to dismantle everything you believe about motivation and hand you something far more powerful, far more permanent, and far more dangerous to your excuses. Section 1. The motivation myth. Let's start with the lie you've been sold your entire life. Since childhood, you were told stories of heroes who woke up one day burning with passion, overflowing with purpose, and changed the world. Movies glorify the moment, the training montage, the triumphant music, the sudden transformation. And so, unconsciously, you began to believe that action requires feeling, that you need to feel motivated before you move. But here is what the science actually says. A study published in the journal Psychological Science found that motivation follows action, not the other way around. Read that again. Motivation follows action. You do not wait to feel ready and then begin. You begin and then you start to feel ready. Your brain is wired for something called the motivation action loop. When you act, even the smallest act, your brain releases dopamine. That dopamine creates the feeling of motivation, which pushes you to act again. The loop feeds itself. But if you wait for motivation first, the loop never starts. This is why the most disciplined people on Earth, elite soldiers, world-class athletes, CEOs of billion-dollar empires, do not talk about motivation. They talk about systems, routines, non-negotiables, things they do whether they feel like it or not, because they learned the most dangerous secret of high performance. Your feelings are not your commanders. You are. Section 2. What discipline actually is. Now I want to destroy another myth, because most people misunderstand discipline completely. They think discipline means suffering, punishment, forcing yourself through torture every single day with gritted teeth and white knuckles. That is not discipline. That is aggression toward yourself, and it does not last. Real discipline, true, unbreakable discipline, is something far more sophisticated. Discipline is the art of choosing your future self over your present feelings. Read that slowly. Every moment of every day, there are two versions of you competing for control. There's your present self, tired, distracted, craving comfort, looking for the path of least resistance, and there's your future self, the one who has built something, become someone, achieved what once felt impossible. Discipline is simply the daily decision to let your future self win. And here is what makes it so powerful. It compounds. Just like money in a savings account, every single act of discipline, no matter how small, earns interest. Every time you wake up when the alarm goes off, instead of hitting snooze, you are depositing into an account. Every time you do the work when you don't feel like it, the account grows. Every time you choose the hard thing over the easy thing, you are building a version of yourself that is virtually unstoppable. The person who practices discipline for 6 months does not just have 6 months of results. They have become someone fundamentally different, someone whose identity has shifted, someone who doesn't need motivation because discipline has become simply who they are. That's the target. Not willpower, not grinding, not suffering. Identity. Section 4. The lie about the trench of discipline. Let me show you exactly how motivation ruins lives, because I want you to feel this, not just understand it. Picture two people, same age, same starting point, same dream. Person A lives on motivation. When the feeling hits, they're unstoppable. They work for hours, they feel electric, they post on social media about their grind. But when the feeling disappears, and it always disappears, they stop. They wait, sometimes for days, sometimes for weeks, sometimes forever. Their life becomes a series of explosive starts and devastating crashes. Person B doesn't care how they feel. Every morning they execute. Not perfectly, not always powerfully, but consistently. They show up when they're tired, they show up when they're heartbroken. They show up when every cell in their body is begging them to stop. And over months and years, the results they build are so far beyond person A that they're barely recognizable as the same species. This is not fiction. This is the documented reality of human performance. A study from University College London found that it takes an average of 66 days to form a habit, not 21 days as the popular myth claims. 66 days of consistent action regardless of feeling. That's 2 months of choosing discipline over comfort, over and over, before the behavior becomes automatic. Motivation cannot take you through 66 days. It cannot take you through 66 hours reliably. Only discipline can do that. And the cruel irony? The people who depend on motivation spend their entire lives feeling like failures, not because they lack talent, not because they lack intelligence, but because they're using the wrong fuel. Section 4. The psychology behind unbreakable discipline. Now let's go deeper. Let's talk about what's actually happening inside the brain of a disciplined person, because once you understand this, you can't unsee it. There's a region of your brain called the prefrontal cortex. This is your rational mind, your long-term thinking, your ability to delay gratification and choose wisely. This is where discipline lives. Then there's the limbic system, the ancient primal part of your brain that craves instant reward, avoids immediate pain, and screams for comfort. This is where impulse lives, where laziness is born, where the urge to check your phone, eat the junk food, and skip the workout originates. Every moment of discipline is a battle between these two systems. And here's the terrifying part. The limbic system is older, faster, and stronger by default. Your ancestors survived by seeking immediate pleasure and avoiding immediate danger, not by planning for the future. So how do disciplined people win this battle consistently? 3 psychological mechanisms. First, implementation intentions. Research by psychologist Peter Gallwitzer proved that people who plan exactly when and where they will perform a behavior are dramatically more likely to follow through. Not, I will exercise more, but I will exercise at 6 a.m. in my living room every weekday. Specificity kills excuses. Second, identity-based habit building. James Clear, in his landmark work on behavior change, argues that the most powerful shift you can make is not changing what you do, it's changing who you believe you are. Instead of, I'm trying to be disciplined, you say, I am a disciplined person, and then you act accordingly. Your brain will work to maintain consistency with your self-image. Third, environmental design. Disciplined people don't rely solely on willpower. They engineer their surroundings to make the right choice easy and the wrong choice hard. They put the gym clothes next to the bed. They delete the apps that steal their time. They remove the temptations before temptation arrives. They make discipline the path of least resistance. These are not hacks. They are the fundamental architecture of a high-performance life. Section 5. The dark side of comfort. I need to say something that will make some of you deeply uncomfortable. Your comfort zone is not protecting you. It is slowly killing you. Every day you choose comfort over discipline, something invisible happens. Your pain threshold lowers. Your tolerance for difficulty shrinks. Your capacity for hard work quietly, steadily atrophies, like a muscle that has not been used in months. And the world does not care. The world does not reward the person who had the most potential. It rewards the person who showed up, consistently, relentlessly, without waiting to feel inspired. There is a psychological phenomenon called learned helplessness, first identified by psychologist Martin Seligman. When people experience repeated failure or repeated comfort without challenge, they stop believing they can change their situation at all. They become passive. They stop trying. Not because they are weak, but because their nervous system has been conditioned to expect nothing from effort. Waiting for motivation teaches your brain learned helplessness. Every time you say, "I will start when I feel ready," your brain records, effort requires a special feeling. And when that feeling does not come, effort does not happen. But every time you act without motivation, your brain records something extraordinary. I am the kind of person who moves regardless. I am the kind of person who does not need to feel ready. I am the kind of person who cannot be stopped by something as fragile as a mood. That recording, that internal belief, is worth more than any skill, any talent, any fortunate circumstance. That is the foundation of an unbreakable person. Section 6. How to build discipline starting today. Now let's make this real. Let's make this practical, because information without action is just entertainment. Here is exactly how to start building iron discipline, not someday, not next Monday, but today. Step 1. Start embarrassingly small. The biggest mistake people make when building discipline is starting too large. They decide to work out 2 hours a day, eat perfectly, wake up at 5 a.m., and meditate all at once. They last 4 days and collapse. Start with something so small it feels almost ridiculous. 5 minutes of focused work, 1 page of reading, 10 push-ups. Something so easy that your brain cannot argue with it. Because you are not building a habit yet, you're building an identity. You're proving to yourself, one tiny act at a time, that you are someone who follows through. Step 2. Protect your non-negotiables with your life. Choose 2 or 3 things that you will do every single day, no matter what. Non-negotiable means non-negotiable. Sick? You find a modified version and you still do it. Exhausted? You do it anyway, even if only for 5 minutes. Heartbroken? You do it first and you feel your feelings after. The power is not in the specific action. The power is in the unbroken chain. Every day you maintain the chain, it grows heavier and more valuable. Every break weakens it catastrophically. Step 3. Eliminate the negotiation. The moment you start negotiating with yourself, maybe just today I will skip it, you have already lost. Disciplined people do not negotiate. They have made the decision in advance, and the decision is final. Eliminate the conversation entirely. The alarm goes off, you get up. The clock hits your work time, you sit down and open your task. There is no but, there is no maybe, there is only the next action. Step 4. Build in recovery, not rest. Even the most disciplined people in history scheduled recovery. Recovery is not weakness, it is strategy. Elite military units build mandatory rest into their operations because a depleted soldier makes catastrophic mistakes. Schedule your rest intentionally. Make it part of the discipline. And when rest time is over, the machine starts again. I want to leave you with something that I need you to carry with you long after this video ends. Motivation will come and go for the rest of your life. There will be mornings when you feel like a force of nature, electric, unstoppable, hungry. And there will be mornings when getting out of bed feels like climbing a mountain. Both mornings require the same response from you. The disciplined person is not the one who never struggles. They are not the one who never feels tired, never doubts themselves, never wants to quit. They feel all of those things, and they move anyway. That movement, that defiant, quiet, unglamorous choice to keep going when every part of you screams to stop, that is where your real life is built. Not in the moments of inspiration, not in the peaks of motivation, in the ordinary, unsexy, relentless middle. Because in the end, your life will not be a reflection of how you felt. It will be a reflection of what you did. You do not need motivation. You never did. What you need, what you have always needed, is the ruthless, unshakable decision to become someone who cannot be stopped. Start now, not when you feel ready, now. If this video cracked something open in you, if something shifted, hit that like button and subscribe. Every week I go deeper into the psychology of human behavior, power, and the dark truths most people are too afraid to face. Drop in the comments, what is the one discipline you are committing to starting today? I read every single one.